Hello and welcome back. In the previous lesson, we looked for the password in the stack. Now we are going to learn how to look for the password in the registers. So let's go and download this new CrackMe called CrackMe1exe from the resource section. This is the credits for the CrackMe. Unzip it and put it in your CrackMe's folder. And then also download this script from the resource section 21-search for password. So now let's load the CrackMe. I've already loaded before. So let's run it and see what it does. So on the right is the output. So when it runs, it asks you to enter a password. Enter any password. Hit enter and it says fail, you entered the wrong password. So now, in order to determine whether or not your password is right or wrong, the program needs to do a comparison between the password you entered and the actual password. So before it can do the comparison, it needs to load it somewhere, either on the stack or in the register. In the previous lesson, we learned how to look for your password that you entered in the stack. In this lesson, we are going to look for it in the register. So this is another technique. So to do that, we use a script like this. Now before we can run the script, we need to know where to put the breakpoint for the script to start working. So a good place is to look for the function which is showing the bad message. So the bad message is fail, you entered the wrong password. So you put a breakpoint just after the prompt, enter password. So let's do for enter password. So a good message to look for is enter password. So you look for the address where the message enter password is shown. So you right click here, search for current module, string references, and search for enter password. And you found it here, enter password. So just double click on that and let's go to the location. Here's the place where the prompt is shown to enter password. And shortly after that, there's a call, maybe to show the password, to show the prompt. This could be the one. Anyway, let's look for the start of this function. Over here, put a command. Press a semicolon to enter the command. Or you can just right click. Or you can just right click here and click on command. The shortcut is semicolon. And then here put a breakpoint. And restart the program. We're going to trace the call which shows the prompt to enter password. So we run now. And watch the output. We step over until the stick becomes running. Just continue to click until it becomes running. Yes, now it's running state. Why? Because it's waiting for you to enter password. So just after this call, we are now here. Just after this call, you should put a breakpoint over here. Because immediately after the call to enter password, it's going to process your password. So that's why you should have a breakpoint here at this location. As it is, I can't toggle the breakpoint because it's about to run the instruction. So I'll restart and then go to the breakpoint there and then put a breakpoint after the call to show instruction. So put a breakpoint here, then we run. Okay, so now we continue to run again until it's showing this. We enter the password 22. Run again 2237. Hit enter and it hits our breakpoint. So now we can run our script. we load our script into our program. And then we tab it to run. So now it's looking for our password inside the register EX. So it extracts the address, which is this address, and then it logs it out to show you the address it is accessing now. And then it's trying to compare whether there are any strings there. If there is, it's a string 2237. That's what it's doing here. So UTF-8 is converting the address at the location, whether it's a string, and then if it is, convert it into a string, and then comparing with 2237, the password you entered. Then store the result in RES. Now we compare whether the result is 1. If it is, it means you have found it. That means you have found the match here. So if it is, you jump down here, say found, and you pause the program. So now the program is paused. If you look at EX, it's 2237. So now you know that it is at this point in your code that your input password is loaded into EX. So from here onwards, it's easier to trace what it's doing with your password. It's going to compare with another password. So for over here, if you continue to step over, you will find that it will load another string in ECX, and following that you'll be doing some comparison between these two, so you can easily guess that this is the real password, easy password. So now we test our hypothesis. We run again. So enter our password, easy password, hit enter and run again, and we see, congratulations, you entered the correct password. So this is how useful this script is. The strategy is to look for the password you entered in the registers. If you find it, that means shortly after that they are going to compare your password with the real password, and so you just keep a lookout on the other registers or in the stack or in the memory, and then you will find the real password. So you have now learned two ways of searching for passwords, one through the stack and one through the register. Now sometimes you may need to do this repeatedly. If you do not find your password in the EX, then you substitute your register with EBX. You change this to EBX. Then if it's not found, change to ECX, and then EDX, and then ESI, and then EDI. So by then you should have found your password. So this is a little bit of trial and error. So if you still cannot find your password in the register, change to the previous method in the stack. So the stack one, you use the previous script where we are looking for password in the stack, and eventually with any luck, you will find your passwords either in the stack or in the register. So the strategy that we are employing is enter any wrong password, and we are hoping that your wrong password will be loaded either in the string or in the stack. And if you manage to find the location where your password that you entered is either in the register or in the stack, that means you are close to the function where the program is going to compare your password with the actual password, and then you can start tracing that area. That is the trick. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.